another Getting Real with Ashleydawn. I'm Ashleydawn, and let's get real. So, I recently was talking with a friend, and I was basically telling her, we were talking about relationships and how girls will settle for less than what they deserve because they think that they don't deserve better. Well, both me and my friend, she's one of my very best friends in the whole world, we were talking, and she was saying, she knows how much she deserves and she knows how much I deserve. And when I'm saying all this, it's not from a cocky place or like a me place. It's a knowing that we are chosen daughters of God, knowing that God has set us apart for a purpose, with a purpose, and that we're not just some normal girl, we're special. And so anyway, we were talking, and I was saying about how guys have came into my life, and they could have been better guys if they would have put forth the effort. They could have kept me, if that's to say, if they would have became the man that I deserve, if they would have put forth the effort instead of just being lazy, instead of just being like, oh, this is the way I am, I'm never going to change, I'm never going to grow. Like, I change every day, I grow every day, I try to challenge myself, and I learn new things, and I try to become a better person every day. And in a relationship, I expect the same of the man that is pursuing me. Keyword, pursuing. Men, if you're watching this and you have a girl in your life and you are not pursuing her, you are doing it all wrong. Men are supposed to pursue the woman. The woman is not supposed to pursue the man. And that's something like I refuse. I will not pursue a man. Honey child, ain't happening. The man is going to pursue me. And if he ain't pursuing me, then peace out, Cub Scout. So, me and my friend were talking about, when you're dating somebody, maybe you're talking to somebody, and they aren't being the person that they could be. It could be a girl. Maybe you're a guy and there's a girl and she just isn't putting forth the effort to show you that you matter. She's not putting forth the effort to show you that she cares about you. And you're just like, listen, one day there's going to be a girl that'll come into my life, if you're a guy, and that will love me the way that you didn't. Guess what? There is. And vice versa. If you're a girl and you're maybe talking to somebody that ain't treating you the way they should be treating you, can I just tell you, don't settle. One day there will be a man that will treat you all the ways that you want him to. And that guy that you're with right now, that guy that ain't treating you the way he knows you deserve to be treated, he's going to have a rude awakening when he sees you happy, right? That George Strait song, you look so good in love. You want him. It's easy to see. You look so good in love, and I wish you still wanted me. Let me think of that. So you're telling me that a girl looks good in love because she's being pursued, because she's being loved, and now you're looking at it wishing that it was you. Well, honey child, it could have been you if you would have stepped up to the plate. What does that mean? In baseball, I love baseball. I spent years and years and years going to baseball games, and I just love them. Take me out to the ball game. I just love baseball. So, in baseball, you cannot get mad at somebody for making a home run if you yourself haven't even stepped up to the plate to hit the ball. Maybe you could have had a home run. You don't know because you were too scared sitting in the dugouts. Well, how about you take your little hiney up out them dugouts, and how about you go get that bat, and how about you swing at some balls? What does that mean, Ashleydawn? Well, if you have a quality person in your life, and you're not doing everything you can to show your appreciation for them, to show them how much you love them, how much you care about them, you're sitting in the dugout. You're just getting by with being on the team. Maybe you have a girlfriend. You ain't never done nothing for her. You're just getting by being in a relationship with her. But you're not pursuing her. You're not taking her out on dates. You're not doing sweet things for her. You're not writing little love notes to her. You're not spending time getting to know her. Oh, you got a relationship title? Good for you. A title don't do nothing. Are you getting to know her? Are you asking her deep questions that are touching her heart and her soul? I'm wearing a shirt. It says, check your heart. Check your heart. Are you in a relationship for what you can get out of it? Or are you in a relationship for what you can give to it? I'm the type of person, I do not enter relationships for what I'm going to get out of it. That's an expectation mindset. I enter relationships to what I can put into it. Now, yes, I expect a return on my investment. If I'm putting all of me into it, I expect them to be putting all of them into it. I expect them to be, giving me just as much as I'm giving to them. I expect them to be doing just as much for me as I'm doing for them. I don't want it to be such a thing to where it's all one-sided and I'm doing everything and they're not doing anything. I don't want that. I don't want it to be, where I'm the guy in the relationship. And you say, well, what does that mean? Well, being the guy in a relationship means that you're pursuing. Jesus laid down his life for the church. Well, the man in a relationship lays down his life for the woman, and he pursues her. And he, look at Song of Songs when the beloved is romancing his woman. Like, yeah, come on, romance. That's godly. That's biblical. That's in the Bible. I believe in romance. I believe in somebody being pursued by a man. Like, I just think we need like a male revolution or a revival where men start being men again, to where they open car doors, to when they ask girls out on dates, to when they, do sweet little romantic things. A lot of the problem is women, a lot of them don't act like women anymore. And you say, well, what do you mean? Because women try to head themselves over the man and they try to be above the man. And it's not a competition, but I feel like so many people try to make it a competition, and they try to make it into something like, oh, I'm stronger than you, I make more money than you. And that's another thing too. Like back in the day, men took care of women financially because men were the breadwinners. Well, now women are breadwinners, and some women are straight up taking care of men. And if that's you, good for you. That ain't me though. Like, maybe it's because of the way I was raised. Maybe it's because I'm old-fashioned. I want to be babied. I want to be taken care of. And not to say that I'm not going to work, because I've always worked, and most of it I've had several jobs. But I want to know that I'm the girl. I want to know that I'm being sheltered and protected and loved and cherished. And I want to know that the man in my life is protecting me, and that I'm his baby girl or I'm his baby doll. And like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a sweetness when the man is like the protector and the provider and the woman is the nurturer. That's the way that it's supposed to be. And so when I look at, the way I want a relationship, I'm not necessarily looking at it as, well, he's got to do this, and this. No. But he does have to be daily committed to our relationship and to be growing and getting better. I don't want to be the person that I was 10 years ago. I don't want to be the person that I was 20 years ago. I want to be constantly growing, constantly changing, constantly becoming a better person. I'm learning every day, and I want him to be learning every day too. And the thing is, like, okay, I'm single now, right? And I'm sure there are a lot of guys, well, yeah, I am sure, because my direct messages and emails and Facebook Messenger blow up on a daily basis with guys either asking me out on dates, telling me how pretty I am, or saying some little complimenty thing. And that's sweet, and that's great, and that's wonderful. But one day there is going to come a man that pursues me, that pursues my heart, that wants to know who God created me to be, that sees who God has created me to be, and wants to know more about that, right? And he is going to step up to the plate, and he's going to hit that ball. He's going to shoot his shot. And then he might get a home run. And if he does get a home run, and what do you mean by home run? I mean like getting married and settling down and finding an incredible woman and spending the rest rest of your life with her. That's what I mean by a home run. And he does hit a home run. All them guys that, admired me from afar or tried to slide in my DMs or tried to, tell me I was beautiful in my comments, they're going to be wishing that they would have stepped up to the plate to hit the ball. And they're going to be complaining, oh, he got a home run. Oh, that's a really good girl, and he got her. Well, maybe you could have got her if you would have stepped up and been a man. Maybe you could have got her if you would have been the man that God created you to be. But you're not. You're sitting in the dugouts being lazy. You're sitting in the dugouts not wanting to grow, not wanting to change, not wanting to be discipled, not wanting to grow in your faith, not wanting to put in the work. You cannot get mad at somebody else for getting a home run if you yourself ain't even going up to hit the ball. And that doesn't even have to be in a relationship. That could be for anything. You see someone buying a house and you're mad that they got to buy a house and you didn't. Well, did you step up to the plate and hit the ball? Have you reached out to a realtor? Have you reached out to a bank to see if you could be pre-qualified? No? Well, then why are you getting upset that they got a house and you didn't? Oh, they got a new car? Did you step up to the plate? Did you get a second job? Have you been saving up your money? Oh, no, you haven't? Well, then you can't be mad at them. Oh, they, I'm trying to think. They got a new job? They got a promotion at their job? They got a home run? Well, did you step up to the plate and hit the ball? Did you apply yourself? Did you fix your resume? Did you go on that interview? Have you been trying to perfect your interviewing skills? No, you haven't? Well, you cannot get mad at somebody else for getting a home run when you're sitting in the dugout and not even stepping up to the plate to hit the ball. Point blank. If you're not willing to do the work, you don't get the reward. If you're not willing to pursue that girl with your whole heart, you're not going to get her whole heart. Why would God give his best to you when you're doing the least? Why would he do that? And you think, oh, nice guys finish last. No, nice guys don't finish last. Lazy guys finish last. Guys that don't want to put in the work. Oh, but I'm a nice guy. Well, really, are you? Are you a nice guy or are you a lazy guy? Do you do the bare minimum and try to get by with that? Or do you go out of your way to make her feel known, to make her feel seen, to make her feel loved? Do you go out of your way to do that? Or do you just send her a text in the morning? Hey, what's up? Good morning. Good morning, beautiful. You coming through later? Netflix and chill? What are you doing? Or at worst, you do WYD. What are you doing? You want to get together? You want to hang out? No. Men, plan something. Get your crap together. Call her and say, hey, I was thinking about how awesome it would be if I could take you out on a date. Can I take you out on a date? What kind of food do you like? Can I take you out to your favorite restaurant? Or even surprise that girl. Tell her, hey, I want you to get all dressed up. I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to take you out to a nice dinner. I want to get to know you more. I planned something. Seriously, step it up, guys. Step it up. If there's a good girl in your life, you better treat her right. Because one day you don't be doing that and somebody else will, and then you're going to be singing that George Strait song. You look so good in love. You want him. It's easy to see. You look so good in love, and I wish you still wanted me. Yeah, you're going to be singing that song. Or what's that other song? There's another one. That ain't my truck in her drive. No, it sure dun 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 dun. It ain't my truck. It ain't my dun 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 dun. You're going to be driving past her house and you're going to see another truck there and it ain't going to be yours. Why? Because you were lazy. Because you were in the dugout. Because you were doing the bare minimum. Do you think you're going to keep your job at work doing the bare minimum? You think your boss is just going to be like, oh yeah, that's fine? No, your boss wants you to do your job. Your boss wants you to apply yourself. And guess what? At a good job, the more you apply yourself, the more compensation you'll get for it, the more appreciation you'll get for it. Not every job. I said a good job. Same deal. If you put in the work in your relationship, you'll get a payoff for that. You'll have a happy relationship. It'll be thriving. Your children will be blessed by it. So many people, I mean, I could go on Facebook and so many people complain, oh, he broke my heart, she broke my heart. Well, did you put in the effort? Did you put in the work? Sometimes, yeah, people do break your heart and people do really awful, terrible things. Trust me, I have a lifetime of stories. But I'm saying, did you put in the work? Did you show that person that they meant the world to you? Did you go out of your way on a daily basis to let them know how much you loved them? Or did you just do the minimum? Because nobody deserves the minimum. Your dog or your cat or your animal doesn't deserve the minimum. Do you just feed them little crumbs? You just put a couple crumbs in their bowl and be like, oh, this is good. At least I'm feeding you. Or do you feed them a good amount? Why? Because guess what? If you ain't feeding your animals, you open that door and they're going to leave and find somebody else that will feed them. And no, I'm not talking about, running out on a marriage or running out on a relationship. But if you are somewhere where you are not being appreciated and you're not married, you don't have to stay. You don't have to stay in a relationship to where somebody never has a conversation with you. You don't have to stay in a relationship to where you never do anything. You never go anywhere. You don't have to stay in that relationship. You deserve better. Now, if you're married, do not be trying to get up out of a marriage. You have made a commitment. You have made a covenant with God, number one, and with the person you've chosen to be with. So, if you've made a covenant, well, you need to do everything you can to try to make it work. Go to counseling, see a therapist, pray about it, maybe go on a couples retreat. I know that, I think it's EXO couples retreat. Jimmy and Karen Evans have a couples retreat in Colorado where it's like I think it's either 2 weeks or a month. Anyway, it's an intensive retreat that couples go away to fix their marriage. So if you're in a marriage and you're miserable, listen, I get it. You're not alone. I'm not discrediting your struggles. Listen, I've been betrayed. I've been lied to. I've went through my own struggles. I was divorced. I went through tons and tons of counseling that failed and didn't work because both people have to want it. So I'm not casting judgment. I'm not pointing fingers. What I'm saying is, if you're not being treated the way you want to be treated, voice that. Voice that to your partner, to your spouse. Voice that to a counselor or a therapist. And then do the work. Fix it, right? You want a good thing, you got to work on it. You want your house painted, you got to get the brush and paint it. You want to get a home run, you got to get the bat and step up to the plate and hit the ball. God has good things for you. And that's another thing, like, oh, I'm just waiting on God. Listen, I understand the waiting on God thing. I've been waiting on God for a lot of things my whole life. But God ain't going to do everything for you. He's going to help you. He's going to set things up in your favor. But He's given you feet to walk. He's given you a mind to think. He's given you hands to do what He's called you to do. And so, God will set up the pieces, but He requires you to walk, right? There's a road that I'm driving on right now. The road is here. But I have to get in my car, start it up, make sure there's gas in it, make sure, it's taken care of. And then I got to drive on it. And preferably stay in the lanes and drive the speed limit. Which is a little difficult for me sometimes. Just being real. But God is not going to drive your car for you. God is not going to put the gas in your car for you. God is not going to put air in your tires for you. God is not going to do all those things for you. He requires you to do things for yourself. What point would it be for Him to give us a brain if we never used it? What point would it be for Him to give us legs if He never used them? God has given us good gifts, but He expects us to use them. You want a man, you want a woman in your life, and you're praying and you're praying and you're waiting and you're waiting, you're going to have to make an effort. If there is a godly girl at your church or there is a godly girl, in your Instagram or your Facebook, reach out to her. Ask her out to dinner. Step up to the plate. Hit the ball. Okay, you strike out. Well, sometimes you get 3 strikes. Ask again. 3 strikes, maybe stop asking that person and maybe ask somebody else. But at no point is God going to do everything for you. At no point is God going to completely just roll out the red carpet and walk on it for you. God wants you to walk on it for yourself. God wants you to use the mind, to use the discernment that He has given to your spirit. Ooh, that's pretty. He wants you to use what He's given you. So are you using it? If you're a woman and you're just dating, okay, not married, but you're dating, and you know the person that is dating you is not doing what they need to be doing, you know that you deserve more. Tell them. Voice that to them and just say, hey, I really like you. I really care about you, but you're doing the bare minimum. And that's not fair. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to you. Like, I want a relationship with you, and I feel like I'm doing everything that I can, and you're just slacking. Like, you're not doing nothing. Talk to them. And that's the thing. Okay, let's talk about sex for a minute, okay? Sex is the most powerful when you're communicating the most. Why? Well, you're communicating things you like. You're communicating things you don't like. Communication is the key to intimacy, not sex. Anybody can have sex with anybody. That's why people get prostitutes. That's why people, go to massage parlors and do that. That's why people go to strip clubs. That's why people meet people on Tinder and all these little dating sites. Not all of them, but a lot of people are just trying to hook up. Anybody can have sex with anybody. Sex is not that special. I said it. This is Getting Real with Ashleydawn. I'm getting real. Sex is not that special. Intimacy is special. Communicating with someone is special. Having a deep, intimate relationship to where you can see into their soul, right? Into me, you see. You can see into their soul. They see into yours. You build them up. They build you up. You express your love to them through love making and through intimacy. They express theirs to you. That is beautiful. But sex, just 2 bodies doing stuff together like that, anybody can do that. That's not special. Literally anyone can do that. Intimacy starts with communication. It starts with being best friends. It starts with opening your heart to one another, opening your mind to one another. You want to have an incredible marriage. You want to have, it doesn't even have to be a marriage yet. Let's, walk before we run. You want an incredible relationship. Be open with that person. Be honest with that person. Communicate. And you say, well, Ashleydawn, I'm not a good communicator. Well, learn to. Ask God to help you. Pray about it. In a relationship, there is compromise. There's compromise. It's give and take. You have to compromise. You have to learn, okay, what does this person like? What does that person like? What don't they like? What are their pet peeves? What are some things, what are some triggers from their childhood that really hurt them? If I raise my voice to them, does that hurt them? Most people, I would say yes. I don't like people raising their voice to me. So I try not to raise my voice to others. And that's another thing. Treat others the way you want to be treated. It's like the simplest thing in the world. But if we all did that, let's just talk about America. If we all did that in America, if every American treated other Americans the way they want to be treated, what a better world would we live in, right? But a lot of times, we don't treat people the way we want to be treated. We treat them the way we think they deserve, right? Like, oh, they're treating me bad, I'm going to treat them bad. No, if they're treating you bad, get out of that relationship. Don't continue the vicious cycle. They're yelling at you all the time. Don't yell back at them. End it. Stop yelling. They're cheating on you. Don't cheat on them to get back. Excuse me. Don't cheat on them just because they cheated on you. Don't try to break their heart just because they broke your heart. Don't sleep with their friend to try to get back at them because they slept with your friend. No. That's toxic. That's unhealthy. Get out of that. Get away from that. You don't have any part of that. If somebody mistreats you, do not mistreat them in return, right? What is it? 2 wrongs don't make a right. They make 2 wrongs. You do something bad doesn't make you a good person. Revenge, it makes you just as bad as the person that did bad to you. And it says in the Bible over and over and over that revenge is the Lord's, not yours. You have been forgiven. God has given you grace. Therefore, you must extend that grace and forgiveness to other people. There's so much going on in the world that instead of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, right? The Bible says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth leaves the whole world blind. And that's true, it does. If somebody hurts you and you go pluck out their eye, and then you hurt them and they pluck out your eye, everyone's going to be walking around with no eyeballs. Why? Because every person in the world has hurt somebody. But instead of just hurting people and hurting people and hurting people and hurting people and just continuing to hurt people, what you can do is decide, okay, this person has hurt me. But instead of retaliating, instead of hurting them in return, I'm going to either get myself out of the situation, it's a bad one, or I'm going to let them know, hey, you're hurting me and I don't like that. And, I'd like to work on maybe counseling, maybe therapy, maybe dealing with some of these toxic tendencies and toxic traits so that they're not there anymore. Oh, that's cute. But so often it's just, what's the word? When it's like a revolving door. It just goes round and round and round and round and round. I hurt you, you hurt me. I hurt you, you hurt me. I hurt you, you hurt me. And it's just this vicious cycle of just pain and hurt and brokenness. Let's deal with that, y'all. Let's deal with that pain and that hurt and that brokenness. And let's say no more. Let's say no more. Let's say no more pain, no more hurt, no more brokenness. Instead, when somebody wrongs me, I'm going to let them know that I didn't like that. I'm going to let them know that that really hurt me, and I'm going to ask them not to do it again. And I'm going to give them a chance. But if they do it again, that's going to be it. And I'm not going to give them a chance to do it again. So many times we get mad at others for doing things to us that we've allowed them to do, right? It's just like the thing. You're mad at people for doing home runs when you're not even stepping up to the bat. You're mad at people for having good lives when you won't make the changes necessary so that your life is good. You're mad at people for having good relationships, right? Maybe you're at church and maybe you see a couple that they've had some marital problems. Somebody's been unfaithful, but their marriage is thriving. And you're mad at them because their marriage is thriving, and you look at your life and your marriage isn't thriving. Well, maybe they stepped up to the plate and took a swing. Maybe they went to counseling. Maybe they went to therapy. Maybe that's why their marriage is thriving now. Did you think of that? Instead of looking at other people and wanting what they have, how about we look at our lives and say, you know what? I would like to have that. So what do I need to do to get to that point? I'd like to buy my own house. Do I need to get a second job? Do I need to save money? Do I need to maybe cut out this expense? Maybe you're doing something that you don't need to do. Maybe you're drinking. Maybe you're going to the bars. Well, alcohol is really expensive. Maybe if you stopped drinking and you took that money from alcohol and you put it in a jar and you just let it, build up and build up and build up, maybe you'd have enough for a down payment. I have friends that good night, they go to the bar and they shut the place down. Their tabs are thousands of dollars. And then they complain about money. And I'm like, hey, are you aware that your tab was just like $1,100? You're getting top shelf drinks and popping bottles and in VIP. Did you think about how much that cost? Did you think about how much you're going to have to work to pay that off? No? Okay. Well, then don't complain about money. You cannot complain about not getting a home run if you yourself are not attempting a home run. You cannot get mad at somebody taking that girl that you've had a crush on for 5 years out to dinner if you yourself haven't asked her out to dinner. You can't get mad at other people for having home runs when they were willing to do things to get that home run that you yourself were not willing to do. It's your fault. If you don't have it, it's your fault. You either haven't put in the work to get it, haven't tried hard enough to get it, or you want something that's not meant for you. Which, hey, sometimes that could be the case too. I've wanted things that wasn't meant for me either. And tried and it hasn't happened. And I've been like, hey, God, what's up? And then I realized, oh, that wasn't God's best for me. That's what I wanted for myself. And I wasn't listening to God. I was asking for what I wanted. So it didn't happen. And sometimes you do try and you just keep swinging and not hitting the ball. And so I'm not talking about that. I'm talking when you want something, but you haven't done anything to get it. If you have a crush on somebody, ask them out. If you're dating somebody, put forth the effort. If you want to date somebody, put forth the effort. Relationships are not easy. They are hard work. And don't settle. Do not settle. Just because it's convenient. Just because it's easy. Just because he texts you in the morning. Girl, text yourself in the morning. I wake up in the morning, I look at myself, I say, good morning, beautiful. Because I am beautiful. And I don't need no guy to tell me that. It's nice when a guy does, but I don't need that. I don't need somebody's affirmation. I like it. I appreciate it. I enjoy it. But my worth is not hinged upon it. And neither should yours be. I hope this message encouraged you. It encouraged me, as always. You are seen, you are celebrated, and you are loved, regardless if anyone in your life has made you feel that way or not. You are very special. God has awesome plans for you. But a lot of times, his awesome plans require awesome work on our part. You want that job, you got to apply for it. You want to drive somewhere, you got to put gas in your car. You want to go out on a date, you got to let your intentions be known. So I'm just encouraging y'all. Get out of the dugout. Get off of the bench. Get the bat. Hit the ball. If you miss, pick it back up. Hit it again. If you miss, pick it back up. Hit it again. After 3 times, maybe switch hands. Maybe try your other hand and see if you can hit with that. And then maybe reevaluate and be like, is this what God really wants for me, or is this what I want for me? Okay, y'all. I love you. I'll catch you in the next one.